Well, of course, we know Beijing has been complaining for many years that Hong Kong has not done its job under the basic law. That is, we should legislate on this law on national security. But you were talking about the National People's Congress meeting in Beijing, and we have in Hong Kong 36 people who are delegates to the NPC. And yesterday, they knew nothing about this proposal or this decision. And so Beijing consulted no one, not even its own puppets, let alone the 7 million people here. So I think we are talking from a very anxious, angry, and frightened Hong Kong. And also, of course, as you rightly said, the big companies are also very nervous. Their investors are nervous because Beijing is going to crack down on Hong Kong, take away our freedoms, our personal safety, our rule of law. And maybe in future, I won't even be able to speak to you like this.
Do you worry that if these protests escalate now in response to this legislation, that the response from Beijing will be more heavy-handed than what we've seen before?
Well, of course it's possible. And people saying that Xi Jinping is gone mad. And of course, Carrie Lam is just doing all the things that Beijing tells her to do. But I think Hong Kong people we have to stand up for our rights. We have to stand up for our principles. But I also call on the international community, people who are watching this interview, to do something for us. It's not just for the 7 million Hong Kong people. There are many foreign citizens and companies living and working here. There are 300,000 Canadians, hundreds of thousands of people from Britain, from America, from France, from Australia, you name it. They're all here, living here, working, making money. How many aircraft carriers or airplanes do they have to send to Hong Kong to evacuate their citizens if we go down in flames? So I call on the international community to tell Beijing to cool it, to stop acting in such a barbaric way.
Emily, good morning. Tanveer also joining into this discussion. You spoke about standing up. Would part of standing up include you seeking support and protection from the United Nations Human Rights Council?
Well, we go to all these international organizations. I think people in Hong Kong have been in constant contact with people at the UN, whether it's the Human Rights Committee or the Human Rights Rapporteur and so on. So we certainly hope all these United Nations people who hear our cause will also speak out. We are not fighting for independence or the overthrow of the Communist Party with force and violence. We just want the Chinese government to keep the promise in the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration, in which Britain handed Hong Kong over to China under one country, two systems, that we can preserve our free lifestyle until 2047. And talking about Britain, the comment by the Foreign Secretary and the British government yesterday was pathetic. They just say, oh, they will monitor. They will take a look at what's happening. Hong Kong is burning. How can Britain just, oh, we will just see what's happening? Even the Americans, they have a stronger response. So we call on Britain and we call on the international community to speak out for tiny little Hong Kong, the Hong Kong that many of you have visited, you've lived in, and you love Hong Kong. We are in trouble now. We need your help.